Well Verge podcast. Check it out. Well Pod's experience. All day, all night. Refine and redefine your life.
So, hi, Coral. First of all, welcome to WellPod. And
Thank you so much.
we guys are elated, grateful, humbled. It is my pleasure to have you here, a conversation with us. And we look forward to help people take away a lot of knowledge and grow in life, which is our main vision with this online talk episodes that we're doing. I feel very lucky to be taking this wisdom of yours to a lot of people in India and globally, of course.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. First things first, before we start, I want to say a happy Independence
Oh,
Day to
wow.
India. So we had
That
this
is
kind of, I don't
so
have a physical flag, but I just want to say happy Independence Day to your
sad.
country. It's a magnificent place that I want to for sure visit. So that is an honor to be in Independence Day for India in your podcast. So as you mentioned, thank you so much for all the kind words. And I'm very excited to start.
Please tell us about this journey of yours from childhood to growing into this woman that you are right now, handling a lot of bit on your own group. What has the journey been like?
So I started when I think everything starts when you're little, your mindset, your surroundings. I had fantastic parents who both encouraged me to be the best version of myself. And I think that comes from a lot of discipline about seeing the world as it is, but always be kind to people. And as I was growing up, I for sure knew that I wanted to be something in the media. I didn't know exactly what I wanted, but as I graduated from high school, I started posting a lot of pictures from where I traveled. And this is when Instagram wasn't what it is now. There wasn't even TikTok, there wasn't even a lot of the YouTube shorts that we see. It was just Instagram. And when I started getting a lot of these followers, I was like, okay, I don't know all these people, but I knew there was a target amount of people that like what I was posting. Back then, it was actually a lot of fashion content. I really liked fashion. And I realized that if I knew how to grow my audience, I knew that I could do the same thing for companies. So I started knocking on doors a lot. I got a lot of no's. So that's something important that I want to tell people who are starting their business journey is that you're going to get a lot of no's at first, but that is what actually makes you stronger, what actually makes you realize all the bad things that you're doing in order to get better. That's the actual manuscript of winning. So as I started gaining my traction of a couple of customers, I built my first company in what everyone now calls a digital marketing agency. At that time, this was 10 years ago when it was brand new. The concept was brand new. A lot of companies didn't understand the purpose of actually why they should be online. Now it's something we're so used to, but back then it was kind of like a convincing. So that's why I always say to everyone who's starting, at first, you will definitely have to guide your customers, your ideal target customers, why they should buy from you. And in my time, getting to all these companies and telling them why their business should be online and what was the purpose of creating content was difficult. But then I created my first company. And after that, during this last 10 years, we've grown into a portfolio of a total of 5 different companies. And each one has a specific purpose of different things that we do. So we start with Coral Santoro Ventures, Inc., which is our kind of like our way to be close to people. So in this case, of course, my following, all of our supporters. And we do have courses online that people can buy from. They're either prepared or ready that they can purchase anytime and do it at their own pace. Or we have live events through the year that people can connect live anywhere around the world. And we specify into mindset, business, different things that people have asked us throughout the years to
So,
build.
are these digital courses that you're selling?
Yes, they are. They are. So you
Yes.
can purchase them and you can do it at any time, or you can join the live ones that we have 4 different times during our year. And then we have Coral Santoro Group, which is specified in B2B. So everything that we do for let's say Coral Santoro Ventures Inc., we do it for companies. So we work directly with companies, founders, VPs. And what we do is that we're basically a business strategy and innovation firm. We focus on scaling ventures, streamline go-to-market execution, and building category leaders fast. So I think that what makes us different is unlikely typical agencies or consultancies, we're operators. So we don't just hand you a PDF. I always say that ideas are cheap, but execution is what actually makes you different. And then now we're opening up Harlow Network, which is our producing studio. So what we're going to be doing is focusing a lot on podcasts. So we want to help other creators come join our own network and expand them as fast as we can. So we're actually specifying ourselves into the business world. So we kind of like want to do that with Harlow Network. And we have our tech side as well. I love to code. I'm a coder, so I really do like that part. And we open up Vinefluencer that we connect brands with all the influencers, but as well as creatives. So we have the 3-in-1 algorithm that we're still testing it beta, but we hope to release it soon. And yeah, then we have our last thing, which is the Vine Global, where we expand summits around the world, which we hope we can get India for 2026. But we do summits. Yes. So what we do is we go to, for example, we do Tokyo, Mexico City, Australia, Buenos Aires, and each one has something specific. So we touch leadership or we talk about tech, and it's an opportunity for investors, startups, founders to be in one same place and do networking, and the idea is to expand everyone's minds to the opportunities.
The only idea I had was podcast, or
Fantastic.
moreover content that you do.
Yeah.
Wow,
You
this
know,
is
I recently just got into posting to be able to have the actual time to connect with everyone, because the thing about social media is that you have to be consistent. You have to be there. You cannot just post and leave. And during these years, I've been actually building my company, working in different boards, being in different roles all around the world, that I didn't have the actual time to be consistent. So this is like my actual year that I'm consistent, that we're doing this, that we're not stopping. And it's been a fantastic way to meet you, for example. So that's the beauty of social media.
wow. That is actually the beauty of social media. So when it comes to mindset, what mindset do you try to be in every day? Are there days when you feel low, and how do you recover from that?
So I think that every morning there's something that has to motivate you. Something. Like I always say, there has to be some tiny thing that makes you wake up in the morning and helps you have a winner mindset. And we all have bad days. I mean, there's nothing that I get a lot of messages where people think that I'm always at my 100%, but there are days that of course I'm tired, but I always say, if you one day you wake up and you're at your 50%, but you nailed that 50%, you did great. If you're at 10% and you know you did great, that's amazing too. If you're at 100% and you can overpass that, you did great too. So it's a mind of perspective to be the best version of yourself every single day. And there's always something that I like to say. Life is made out of 3 C's: chances, changes, and choices. So you always have to make a choice to make a change to see a result, you know? So that's kind of like the mindset that I live every day. I think that motivation is something that we see a lot today. We see a lot, we save it, we like it. But a lot of times, how many times do we actually apply it? Like, how many times do we save it, we like it, but then we go back to the same mindset? And it's something that to have a great mindset is every single day to say something beautiful. I always say that if you want to see chaos, turn on the news. If you want to see the beauty of light, go outside. And that's the kind of little things that you have to have in mind every single day.
Correct. And I was going through a reel where there was this guy who was chauffeured to the airport by Bill Gates, and
Yeah.
he did you see that?
I know that. Yep. The one
That
that
he
he didn't want to get.
correct.
Yep. Because
And
he wanted to be so focused.
correct, correct. And it was it. I don't think that a normal person would actually come up with that idea of taking out the radio from the car just so that he can be in that thought process 24/7.
I'm going to tell you something funny. I actually was telling my dad the other day about that story because for me, I had a whole year straight when I was doing my company that I didn't see a single friend. I didn't go to any wedding. I didn't go to absolutely anything. I was like 24/7. And when I mean 24/7, I meant like it was a lot of hours. It was like 18-hour days, 7 days that it was full on. So kind of like those things where you're just so focused and you're so in yourself that those tiny distractions can actually make a difference. And I can tell you, there was one day that I went to meet a friend,
All right.
and I did get distracted. And when I came back, I thought of that moment of Bill Gates, where I was like, "Yep, it is true. It is 100% true." So it's kind of that mindset that when you want to be an entrepreneur,
Uh,
it's not going to be easy. A lot of people see the beautiful side of the end. I think it's called the end of entrepreneurship, where you see all the results. But to get to the end, there are a lot of tough moments. And I don't think there's actually a bad idea. I just think there's people who don't know how to execute that idea and go to the end, like actually get to the end. And that's the beauty of mindset, because with the right mindset, even if you're not an entrepreneur and you're listening to this, with the right mindset, you can do anything. You can be the best doctor. You can be the best, whatever thing you do, whatever profession you do, you can be the best at it. It's just here. Everything is here. That's it.
wow. And at times, when, as you said, that you were completely engrossed in your
Oh yeah.
business for 1 year and you missed out on a lot of things. Uh, do you think it hit you negatively as well? Like,
No,
did you ever? Oh, wow,
no.
wow.
I'm going to tell you something. I think that it's very easy for me to say that, because when you have this strong feeling that you want to accomplish something, that's your destiny, and there's nothing that can stop you from it. And when for example, for me, I don't call it I missed friends' weddings, or I've missed, because that wasn't my destiny. Like it's for a lot of people, and I get it, it's beautiful, but that's like my journey. And for me, it was to see this vision in my head and to give everything out of me during the amount of years that I've given. It's over a decade now, to see the result. So now it's so beautiful to get in touch with all these entrepreneurs that are struggling. And sometimes they think that I had this like amount of money to start all these companies. I'm like, no, you have to just start with what you have. If you have a bad phone, start with that. If you don't have a mic, start with what you have. If you don't have the big studio, start with what you have. Now we have technology. There's no excuse anymore. If you have Wi-Fi, a laptop or Wi-Fi and your phone, you can do anything. I heard the story about this girl in the Philippines, that she started her e-commerce with this very cheap phone, and she was doing millions in in a span of 8 months. So it's about just starting. Like, her story was so impactful because it's a moment where you start putting excuses into why you can't. You see all the why I can't, why I can't. But when you put a list and you see all the why I can, the perspective changes. Everything changes.
True. And when you say your perspective changes, do you think it makes you lose a lot of friends? Just because you were talking about friends right now, and I get to hear from almost every successful person one thing, that you will lose out on everybody that you have in your life before you start.
I think that the point of friends, there's friends for every season. And there's friends when you grow up, and it's fantastic because you're having a blast. And then
Right.
you're an adult, and everyone life shifts. Some get married early, some are
Right.
starting a business, some are doing a master degree, some are traveling abroad. And I think that the beauty of life is that it has cycles. And when it comes to friends, when you're so focused doing something, not everyone's going to get you. And that's okay. They don't have to. You're not doing that for them. You're doing that for you. And you're going to lose people for sure, for sure. But the right ones stay. The right ones don't go. The right ones cheer for you. because they know they have their turn coming, you know? And when you start falling apart from those friends, the new circle doesn't come right away. They wait. You're gonna be alone in a season, but I don't call it loneliness because you're so focused on your dream, on what you want to do, that you're not alone because you have so much to do, so many deadlines. You have this vision that I always say that you're not alone. You are with your best friend called vision and your best friend called why. Because when you have a why so strong, there's nothing that you cannot do. So that season when you're with this will move you to another season. Of course, if I ask you, probably you have new entrepreneur friends. You've met people on networking events that start becoming your circle, the person you have or think about when you want something for your business, right? And you're probably not thinking about your high school friends, and that's okay because they're doing their thing. So I always say, life changes. It's okay. Friends drift apart. That's okay. You're going to be in a season where it's just you and your vision, and that's enough for what you want to accomplish. That's enough.
And when it comes to your vision, how often do you think a guy who's starting a business, or you, maybe when you were starting your business, did you look out for a support? Did you look out for people to help you? And did you get no's? And how many no's from people that you actually expected to help you, but they were nowhere to be seen? Did
So
that
I
happen
think,
to you? And
yeah,
please tell
I
us.
mean, my greatest support were my parents for sure. I think that when you have a circle, it might not be your parents, it might be your uncle, it might be your best friend, it might be whoever you want it to be. And if you don't have that and you're listening to this right now, that's okay too. Because here's the thing, when I started, I got so many no's, but so many no's. And you know what the beauty of no is? That you get excited about the next no. And that's kind of confusing, right? You're like, no, no, I want the yes, right? But
Right.
here's the thing, success teaches you nothing. Success is beautiful, but it teaches you nothing. The hard part, the no's, are what building your next stair to success. So if you think about this, I saw this content about that they were saying, if I told you right now that you're 24 no's away from getting $1 billion, you would be like, yes, I'm excited. One no right away. No, no, no. Yes, I'm closer, right? But in
Correct.
real life, when we get a no, it feels personal. It feels like they are attacking us, and it's not. In business, you're going to get thousands of no's. But when you get that one yes, it will build your confidence for sure.
Correct.
It will get your confidence. And when I started, of course, I had a lot of no's. But here's the thing, I saw it as a way to reframe all the things that I learned from that meeting. So when I went to a meeting and they said no, I was like, okay, why did they say no? And I actually asked. The thing is that people don't ask. They just stay quiet and leave the room. How do you know where you failed? And the beauty of all these people that are on top is that they actually want to help you. And sometimes a no, you can actually say, can I get some feedback? And when you get that feedback, you go to the next meeting and you know where you failed and where you can get better. And if that means straight 50 no's, you have 50 feedbacks where maybe the 60th time you will go and you will get a yes. But the key here is, I don't think I ever got lost. I just think I call it redirection. Every time my business shifted where it actually started, I had this idea and it ended up being something completely different, is that you just redirect. I always, for example, you see all these companies on how they started. Dyson had like 5,000 prototypes, wrong to have one good one that now we all know Dyson, you know? So it's just kind of like where you start might not be where the actual product, your actual business ends, but it's kind of like the way you think about it, the way you see rejection as a way of redirection.
And also, I think you recently posted on M3 as well that they did not make the right adhesive, right? So
Yeah,
I think it is more of a similar story to just a different company.
for sure. For sure. There's always something that when you see mistakes as a way of learning or as an opportunity, everything shifts. Everything. 3M is an example. If your listeners don't know, we're just going to say real quick, the adhesive post where you write, owned by 3M. They were actually trying to build the strongest adhesive they had, and they ended up with the weakest ones. And that's the Post-its that we all know about. So it's kind of like a way of reframing what you're going through.
So from here, I would like to talk about that first reel of yours that you ever made, and on business content, not the
Okay.
previous one. So I believe you were coming from not a fashion content, but then a travel and a fashion mix content initially,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
your page transitioned into business content.
Yeah. So initially that was my personal Instagram. So it wasn't like kind of like on purpose that I was posting, because when I initially started this journey 10 years ago, I immediately realized that if I could grow mine, like I mentioned, my account, I could grow for others. I stopped kind of like taking care of my own account because I just posted for fun, my travels, like what I was wearing. But it wasn't like on purpose that I wanted to grow my account. It was just my life, you know? And then when I started actually posting business content, it wasn't something random. It was something that was very planned. I wanted to take all of the advice, all of the mindset, all of the wrong things, wrong turns, good turns that I had in my own journey, and actually talking to people so that they could learn from my whole journey. So the first thing I posted, I think it was about money. Yeah, money mindset. It was about that's actually one of her programs.
I would like to speak that out. I have it. So only 33% of adults worldwide are financially literate.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Spoke about.
Yeah, so I always like to talk about mindset, but also the money mindset that you have to have. Money exposes your behaviors. And a lot of people these days want money. They think that growing a business will give them money. But a lot of that people don't know how to actually grow that money, keep that money, and make that money grow while you sleep. So what I always try to say is that the mindset that you have about money is either lack of money. You see money as something impossible to obtain. You see all these beliefs about money that has been passed down either from family, friends, people that you know, and those concepts has stayed with you for so long that you start to believe that's actually your thoughts. So when we talk about financial freedom, is that a lot of people depend either on their jobs, they depend on a partner, they depend on certain aspects that you can't control. And when you can't control something, it becomes something that we call anxiety. You're nervous, you don't know where your next paycheck is going to come from, and you start getting all these things that you fear money. When instead, when you know about money, you can become more calm about it because you actually understand how it works, how you can actually obtain, how to grow a business, how to be financial free from a job, from a dependence. So that's kind of where we talk about that one. And it was the best way for me to start my page because I wanted to see how people will respond to that. And it was actually pretty good. We started posting that one, and then it just became a matter of posting more about the whole aspect of mindset. Then we grew into business, and then now we combine business with mindset in a single content.
So what exactly are you most focused on if we talk about business? Is it the content? Is it the digital courses that you have, or the summits that you're looking to coming up with? How do you deal with all to put 100% of your efforts to all the five verticals at one time?
So I think that when you're a CEO, you should never put your 100%. Actually, there's a study that says a CEO should give 30% of their actual time to the businesses they're doing. The rest is someone else's meeting, that rest is someone else's job. You just have to put your 30% into what you're doing. And when I'm trying to do my five businesses in a day, I always have certain things that I have to do for each one that requires my actual time to be able to perform at my highest. So that means we came up with something that's called the rule of nines. And that means imagine a tic tac toe board, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
and you have nine tasks in a day. So what you try to do is in the morning, but I actually do it the day before so that I wake up and I know the 9 tasks that I have to do that day. And every time I finish something, I cross it. It is something that makes your brain feel completion. It tricks your brain of wanting more because you actually finished. And I think that a lot of times CEOs or entrepreneurs feel that they are not accomplishing because they just keep it in their heads, and your head doesn't know if you completed, if you didn't. But when you actually write it down, when you actually type it on your calendar and you cross it and you finish that up, you know you actually fulfill that task. You can go to bed quiet, alone, with your brain in peace. But when you don't, you have half tasks completed. So, what I try to do with my company, I have a fantastic team. I have a fantastic board with us. That what we try to do is I know where I'm needed. My team knows when they actually needed me. And I only take 3 types of meetings that I always say that CEOs should take is to solve a problem, to actually delegate something that needs to be done, and to see the vision of the company. Because you cannot put someone else on the vision of the company. You definitely have to be there. And the rest, like I mentioned, is someone else's job. I'm learning from you too. I always say we always learn from everyone we talk to. The thing is that humans, we need to start listening more than we speak. And I think the beauty of when they ask me, where do you learn all these things that you say? And I observe and I listen. That's the beauty of the world. You can learn from absolutely everyone that you meet.
So one question that I'm sure a lot of our Indian audience, or maybe global as well. So people who are actually starting something or starting a business, do you really think work life balance exists? What is that thing that they can do to align their goals with the vision while they are working on starting a business and not when it is established? I
You know, when you're starting, you are not going to have work-life balance. Because when you're starting your business, you're either just left a job, and if you're starting a business, it has to work. And when something has to work, you leave everything behind. So that there's no work-life balance. And when I say that, people usually get scared, and I'm like, no, your personal life and your business life become one, because you know that if when you're starting, you don't have a big team. It's just you doing everything. Marketing, you're the person responding the emails, you're the person doing the Canva content, you're everything, so you don't have time to have that work life balance. And when you start a business that you know it has to work, you see all the things you have to make accomplished in a day, and you don't have time for your personal life. So I always say, when you're starting a business, you'll know and you'll realize very quickly that if you actually are taking it serious and not playing business, you're going to give everything that you have. And at the end of the day, it's something that if you truly like, you're going to be obsessed with it, because you're going to wake up every day. You'll want more. The first accomplishment that you have, you want more. It's addictive. It's addictive. You want more. And not because it comes to the monetary side of doing business, because I always say be ambitious, because ambitious doesn't mean something wrong. It just means you're so passionate about what you do, and you're so confident on all the ideas and what you have to bring to the world. Well, you just want more. So yeah, I just ending that up. No work-life balance when you're starting.
Okay, so that is what we have. There's no work life balance, guys. You just have to grind your ass.
Let me ask you, did you have work-life balance when you started this whole thing that you have?
Not at all. Not at all.
There we go, guys. There's the answer
There
from
was,
two founders.
there was no clock. There was no uh, work life balance. There was literally no balance. You're like, I think you're very uh, you're you're so invested in so many things that you start feeling that 24 hours is less.
Oh yeah, exactly.
and i'm
Exactly.
sure, and I'm sure not a lot of people get that, but then I hope through your content, and now these guys are following you, you're
Yeah.
growing well. I hope you take this content to them, and they could be more motivated, just how you kept motivating me while I was working in uh, on
Oh,
my
that's
vision,
fantastic.
on my vision. But again, something that you said earlier, uh, billionaires have nothing in common but just one pattern: commitment to the vision. But we hear a lot of people saying, "Get up, get up early, sleep early, get up early, have that work-life balance," and it suddenly starts to feel that just a myth that
Yeah,
you can actually have work-life balance when you're starting something, when you're starting to do something.
for sure. Well, I always say about what you just mentioned, people want to follow billionaires' advice, but what I always say is don't follow the routine, follow the principles and the ethic and the discipline they have. Because here's the thing: Jeff Bezos wakes up at 9 a.m., Elon Musk wakes up at 4. You don't have to mimic the time they wake up. You have to mimic the discipline, the ethics that they have in their work mindset and able to achieve whatever you want. But I really do not believe about waking up at 5 a.m. and do meditating if that's what you want to do. If that's what you want to do, fantastic. Like wake up at 5 a.m., do ice baths, do a green juice smoothie, whatever you want to do. That's great. But that's not a requirement for success. So I always say there's nothing that you actually have to follow to get to the top rather than just values and the ethics of actually keep going like they have.
Did you ever feel that what you're trying to tell people is sounding alien to them? They're not able to understand your vision, or they're not able to understand what you're trying to convince them for, and it looks all alien to them. Did that happen to you at all, or what was your
Yeah,
journey like?
well, here's the thing. I think that one of the most important things to understand is that not everyone's going to get your vision and the right ones will. And the only way to test that is try as many times as you can. So when I started, like I mentioned, it was at a time where social media marketing agency online, it sound absurd. And why should I put my business on the web? So it was definitely what now sounds so normal. It was very weird at that time. Like, why should I give you money to do that?
Correct.
So the only way to test that is to go as many times as you can. And something that I always say in advice that I can give is that if you could give one piece, like one thing to people, is just ground your ideas in both science and lived experiences. And here's why. Science gives your ideas credibility, structure, and proof that they work beyond just your own opinion. But lived experience make them relatable and human. It turns your advice from theory into something people can actually connect with and trust. And when you combine those two, your message isn't just something people hear. It's something they believe, they remember, and they act on. And that's how you create change that sticks in business, in mindset, in life. So build credibility before you ask for opportunity, and then just show the results that people can't ignore you. That's how you just, when people say, no, it's impossible, no, it can't be done, or why, just show them proof and then show them something that feels human, connect both, and you create something that people actually understand and want to give you a chance on.
And apart from this, just now that we're talking vision, and we're talking about this, what is the vision behind Coral Santoro Group, or what was the vision? Is it still the same, or it has expanded? And where are you right now in your journey? Vision from where you started and where you're now. That
So for sure, where we started was a decade ago, and it definitely has changed. I always say that be stubborn on what you want to accomplish, but don't be stubborn with the vision, because the vision still becomes something that you can expand from. So don't be stubborn with that. We definitely have expanded from where we started. At first, it was just bringing marketing online to companies, and it was very basic because there wasn't even opportunity to do video at that time. Instagram didn't have videos to upload. We didn't have TikTok for sure.
right.
So, and it was more kind of like long format on YouTube. So it was very basic, and now it has expanded to a lot of things. And I think that when you see where the world is going, your business plan should only be one thing. Think of the world where it'd be in 5 years. And that's the thing where you actually have to sit down and think of all the things that you think it's impossible and where the world is coming. Talk to a lot of people in your industry, and you can actually start getting ideas of where you could go, where your company could go. So we initially, like I mentioned, started with something very simple, but now has expanded in a way to provide, at the end of the day, our goals is to provide our clients with the best service, with the top quality in technology, and always be present with them, not just hand them a PDF. We're there from beginning to end. And that's kind of like where we always see Coral Santoro Group going, and what we always want to achieve with our clients that have happy results. We see them as long-term partners. Something that I actually want to advise people is that acquisition is harder than maintaining your happy clients. So always keep the clients that you have happy, because acquiring a new client is always harder. And if you can keep that, and if you can fix a problem that you have, say, I'm sorry, move on. If you have a client that's just starting, guide them, ask them how they're going. Through the whole process, you have a happy client, you have a happy company, and you can actually expand your vision further.
Perfect. And when it comes to Coral as a person before she ventured into business and Coral as a person now, do you think you've transitioned into a completely different woman, or were you always the same, just that the time has changed?
That's a very good question. I don't think someone has asked me that. To be honest, I think that I've always been the same driven person in whatever that I was doing. Now
How were
it's
you
in
in school?
business. I'm sorry?
How were you in school? School, college, and then the teenage part, and then growing. Were you this girl, this woman that you're right now,
Oh,
so driven?
well,
So
school, I was not an A student. I was a C. The world is managed by C
correct,
plus students.
correct. This
Let's
is
just
so
leave it
true.
there.
This is so
But
true.
I think that I was always this driven person in whatever I set my mind to. I always wanted to, if I set my mind that I wanted to be I don't know, dance flamenco, I would go and like have lessons, and I wanted to be the best. If I wanted to play soccer, I would go and be the best, like try to be the best. I wasn't the best. I tried, but it was always try. I think that my vision was always try. Even if you're not the best, you tried. So I didn't go to college. I didn't go to college. I graduated from high school and straight went to travel the world. And that's
Wow.
how I started taking pictures, started gaining followers from wherever I visited. And I think that the Coral from now has still a lot to learn. I think that the day we stop learning is the day we die. So I always keep trying to learn from as many people that I meet, from all the things that I'm doing. And I think that I have a lot to go still. I'm excited about where we're going. I'm excited about where technology is taking us. I'm excited to just keep expanding what I learned to more people. And I think that the best thing that my job has ever given me is the connection with people. And I'm very happy to see that on every comment, on every email. That's what actually makes me happy, that we're leaving a footprint in this world.
You're incredible when it comes to responding. That was
So
quick.
thank thank you. Thank you so
So
much. I appreciate it.
I would. Could you describe for our audience initial days of your company? What was your mindset back then, and how were you approaching people, and what did you actually start with, and how did you drift? Could you take us through that?
For sure. So, one of the first things I had actually as a physical product, I really wanted to get into e-commerce when it was trending, when it was just starting. And I started with one product, which was a tea. And I really thought, and I think this happens to a lot of people, that when you have a product, you think it's beautiful. You think it's the best in the world. You just think it's going to go out in the market and everyone's going to love it. And that's the first crash you have as an entrepreneur. Um,
So true.
it's the reality of it. I thought that I had this magnificent product and I was going to be selling everywhere. And we put it online and we didn't have any sale. And I know if you're watching, you're an entrepreneur, you feel that stress coming. But I always say it's a lesson from everything. I don't see that as a failure at all. I see it as something that taught me what real business looks like, what you have to do to make it better. And at first it didn't work, so I pivoted to the next thing. I started selling jewelry online. Actually, I did this whole website myself. I started selling jewelry. It sold a few. It didn't work out, so it was like another crash. And until up my third try, where I started what I actually love doing, is where I actually is the business that has grown into more things today. But at first, it's frustrating. You're going to have a lot of no's. You're going to have a lot of no sales, no customers coming. But it's just a way in a matter of time where you realize that time will do its thing if you keep going. So as an entrepreneur, at first, you might not have people coming into your restaurant. You might not have people going to your medical consultancies if you're doing that, or if you're selling stuff online. It's hard, but it's just a matter of seeing what other people are doing wrong. So a lot of people will go to their competitors and they see all the 5 stars and they will go to that section. That section is not what teaches you anything about your competitors. You have to go to the 0 stars or the 3 stars. That's your gap. The 0 to 3 stars is where you have to grab those people and shift it to your business. So I kind of always say, go to your competitors 3 to 0 stars. That's when you have to make that gap better. And that's where you acquire this type of clients. So when you're starting, just know, even myself, I've been through tough times when you're starting, but it's just a matter of go, go, go. Your mindset cannot play tricks on you. It will tell you, it will whisper, you're not good enough. It will whisper, you can't, all these things. But just a matter of proving that voice wrong and keep going. And that's kind of like the mindset that you have to have when you're starting.
And what is the biggest blunder that you think you made in this business? Because I feel that, as you said, that everybody would go through failures, right? But then sometimes you make blunders, which are more hurtful, and I think they're stronger than a failure. Uh, did you ever make a blunder in your journey?
Well, you know what? I think that when you think you know best is when you actually start losing. So for example, at first I thought that I knew about everything. You think you know best, you think that, but that's where it kind of goes wrong. And I think that was kind of like my moment when I started to realize that if I actually wanted to grow, I had to hire people who were excellent at what they were doing. But that being said, at first you have to know a lot of things within your company. That means know how to make marketing, know how to make sales, make numbers, a lot of things that when you hire, you know if they're actually doing right, or if you want to hire someone else and they tell you that it's going to take longer, but you know you can actually do it in a shorter period of time. That's when you actually realize that you know how to run a company. So I always say, I think that one of my key moments where I stalled a bit was when I thought that I knew everything. And it was a moment just about delegation and keep learning more.
And at what stage of life were you when you transitioned into a business content creator and not a lifestyle and travel content creator anymore? Did the thought ever hold you back that what will people say, suddenly me going into business content, how will they react, and all of that stuff, which usually holds back a person, I feel, from actually delivering
Yeah.
it, and then it turns out to be so amazing, just how you have your Instagram right now. But then what was day one?
Well, I've been doing this for a very long time. So, kind of like people's opinion, I really do not care much rather than just constructivism opinions. I think that if people give you an opinion, you should take it as a way to grow. But I think that when you're starting, you really do not have to care what your 5 friends think. At the end of the day, you're doing this for you. And at first, if you want the results, you have to face what we call the cringe, all those moments where you're like, oh, I'm
Correct.
talking like that in the camera. You have to have that. The best creators in the world have faced that. I mean, we've all been there. But I think that you should just go with a mindset where you know what you're talking about in any profession that you're doing. In my case was business, and for me it's easy to talk about it because I've been doing it for so long. So it's just a matter of going into the studio and speaking as many things that I've written down that week. And for others might be talking about medicine or law or food. And when you know what you're talking about, there's no one that can actually tell you otherwise. Like your five friends might not know about your profession. So at the end of the day, like why should you care? So it's just a way to saying, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing. Even if at first it looks weird, it looks bad, the sound, the quality might not be the best. I know what I'm made of. Let's go.
And initially, and what do you have to say on not telling, not talking about your work until it is materialized? People say that, right? Uh,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I actually believe in that. Some things you just have to keep in quiet, and victories. When you start building, I feel like you expect people to react the way that you would like people to react to, and then you don't get that, so you are sad, or you think that they do not support you. So I think some victories and some things just for you. Don't expect people to react the way you want them to, because you cannot control that. What you can control is all the beautiful things that you're doing, all the magnificent things that are coming your way. And yeah, just celebrate them with your loved ones, with yourself, clap yourself in the back. And yeah, don't expect people to just react the way you wanted them to.
and how often do you think your loved ones are affected because of the kind of mindset that you are in, or the zone that you're in? Do you think it affects relationships? In fact, I would like to talk about love life as well. What do you have to say on relationships while you're building something?
I think that the partner that you decide to have should know that. I think something fantastic I heard is that marrying an athlete and entrepreneur has the same requirements, which is you're so focused on your vision and what you want to accomplish that you might not understand late nights, you might not understand the discipline, you might not understand missing a lot of the important things. But I feel like the right person will know that, they will understand that, and you will actually feel that immediately because you know when you're so focused on building something you will know if that person is supporting or not. It's something that you just feel it. And I think that it's something personal that everyone should get to decide. For me, especially, I think that it's just a matter of knowing who you're surrounded with, who's going to uplift your dreams, who's going to take you higher. And yeah, I think it's just a matter of personal decisions. But I feel like when you're an entrepreneur, you just know if someone's just stalling you down. If it's not, they're not going to get you where you want to get.
Correct.
And yeah, you will feel it. I will just say that for sure.
And what's your take on meditation? Uh, were you ever
I
into
love
it?
meditation.
Wow.
I do. I've done it for many years. I started 4 years ago. 4 years ago for sure. I think it's just your mind gets connected to something so powerful that it's yourself in more ways that the noise from the world won't let us connect towards. So I think that in a moment where it's just you, your breathing, your mind, you get to experience a lot of the clarity that you actually need, and just the purpose of being alone, sitting like with no sound, with no noise, breathing mindset is just it's just great. I like doing guided meditations. I really just love taking my brain where I want to take them, and it's fantastic. I wish I want to go to India, and I know that there's
You have to
fantastic
come
places
here.
to go.
And how many summits have you done till now? And what is
We
the
have in 4 different countries.
wow?
So now we want to expand to new segments. Like I mentioned, we did tech, we do leadership, we do B2B. So each one has different aspects that we want to talk about, and we're going to keep expanding for 2026 to new divisions and new countries.
So once again, I'm taking you back to your initial days. Do you still remember the first glimpse of your vision and dreams of having a business? And how did this journey, the first time, the vision, the day, do you still remember it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I always wanted it to do something in business. I mean, I didn't exactly know what, but I kind of like knew that I wanted to, kind of like when I started, I didn't know exactly what I wanted, but it was just a matter of all the experiences and all the things that I wanted to shape into what my existing business is. So I think like the initial vision and where I was just a matter of taking all my experience from what I was seeing in that moment happen into a moment of where everything is going to take us. So it's just that. I mean, I think it's just a moment where you keep extending your vision, but I don't remember the exact moment where I was like, okay, I want to do this. It was just kind of like naturally transition into something better.
And what about manifestation? Did you ever manifest it, or did you even know what manifestation is back then? What manifestation actually is according to Coral Santoro?
Okay, so I think that it can be taken from different perspectives from a lot of people, but what I actually think is there's just this magnetic field in the world where we vibrate in a certain frequency that we either attract or we attract. That means if you're attracting something bad, it will happen. If you're attracting something good, it will happen. And a lot of times that means that you think it's just kind of like, oh, this is happening bad to me. And I'm like, okay, where's your mindset at? Who are the people that are surrounding you? They're either going to lower you down or they're going to make yourself vibrate at a higher frequency. So that being said, I think that for in my case, I think that when you can see it, you can build it. I think that when they give you this special thing that you want to accomplish, you can do anything. And that's kind of like manifesting. I think a lot of people will write down a lot of the things and they will have all these rituals, and that's fine. Like if it works for you, go ahead and do it. But in my case, I think it was just a matter of like who I'm surrounding myself with, the kind of like the energy that I'm putting out there, and kind of like what I saw in my mind, I knew I could actually do it.
And just now you mentioned that was about to be my next question: frequencies. So when you talk about frequencies, I think that is what makes you. I would say alien as well, because you're on a different frequency suddenly, because that wasn't you all this while. So when it comes to frequencies, do you think people are blessed, or one can actually get into that uh, zone or change his mind frequency? You have to
I
say.
think that, yeah. I mean, I think we're all blessed. We just have to make those blessings come out of us. You can change any situation when you actually want it, even as if it's in your toughest moments economically. If you're going through something or struggle, your mindset can completely shape the outcome that you want to outcome. So I just think it's a matter of putting your mindset into a place where you're just I'm going to see beauty in everything that I see. I'm going to see something good every day. I'm going to attract the things that I want to attract, and beautiful things are happening for sure.
How would you suggest someone to get into that mind frequency? How would you suggest a person to venture into that zone, so that you can go ahead and build something good for you?
I mean, it's just a matter of deciding. You get to choose. You get to choose to wake up one day and completely transform your life. There's no special moment, there's no special day that you suddenly just have to decide that you want to change your life. And that only depends with you. It only depends on what you want to do, the things you want to do. And I think it's a choice that makes a chance to take a chance, the three
Correct.
C's.
It's
But
Tracy is all the
I really thank you for everything that you've said today. It's been so fantastic. It's been so great to get all these questions that I haven't been asked in a while. So it's been really, really great.
thank you. It feels so good coming from you, and I think this is all there in your content, because you've been talking about it, but then very few people talk about all this. And I've been trying to also, so apart from the business journey of mine, I've been trying to, look for people globally who have this mindset, because
Fantastic.
honestly, I haven't come across even a single person around me till now who works in that frequency, or uh, who talks about all this. Maybe the big guys, yes, but then of course you don't have access to them initially.
You
Right now,
do. You do. You do. You just have to keep trying, keep knocking, but there's always gonna say yes, so you do.
true that. So you keep going. So and apart from this, how do you make manifestation a real tool for your business, not just a wish?
I just say that, for example, manifestation boards, I always want to try to say do a manifestation board, but also do an actions board, because you can wish everything that you want, but if you don't have a plan, if you don't start moving, you won't see any results. So in my case, it's just a matter of what do I want? What are the things that I have to start doing in order to achieve that? Because a lot of people say it doesn't work, but I'm like, okay, what did you try to make those things work? It's not just a matter of writing things down, you know?
And again, my next question comes from this. If someone feels stuck in their business or in their vision, what's the very first step that they should take to start growing again?
First, breathe. A lot of people don't breathe. They're so stressed about the situation of their business. It's just a matter of pausing. It's just a matter to see all the aspects of your business from another lens. The business is never actually done until you try to see all the aspects that you have to grow, and the aspects that you have to cut expenses from, the aspects that you have to see where you can better yourself. If there's another aspect of income that you can have from the same business, another revenue set. So it's just, I think, a matter of seeing your business from another lens, and don't see it as a step back, but just a matter of kind of like print everything, sit down, have a red pen, and start seeing your business like a ruthless editor. That's it. That's kind of the thing where you can actually start growing your business and see it as a way to perform better.
And what do you think, or what do you have to say on how important is it to write everything that
Oh, very.
is it?
Very, very, very important, because a lot of things that you think you're going to remember, you're not. When it's written on paper, you can actually start seeing your business and the things that you have to do and cross that task, cross the thing for sure.
And what is that one habit of yours that you think has led you to all the wins in your life, and what you're doing right now?
I think that the one thing for sure is I don't see no's as something bad, because I think that's the main thing, that when you start, you're getting no's. So every time I get a no, every time I get a roadblock, I just try to see the other way around it. And I think that's taking me where I actually wanted to go. I think that all of the things that I've accomplished is not just myself, but everyone who surrounds me, all the fantastic clients, all the fantastic team that I have behind me. But I think it's just a matter of your mind. When you want to accomplish something, just have your why, and the rest will follow.
And what do you think differentiates millionaires from average people? Do you think it is just the mindset, or something else as well?
No, 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 no. I think it's 100% systems. Because the
Right.
thing about from millionaires to billionaires is just systems. I think that when you hear a lot of people say that from getting $100,000 is harder than getting a million, people get surprised by that. But it's actually after your first million is just systems. When you start getting systems on place, you start growing faster. That's the only kind of like secret that I can tell you when it comes to expansion and growth. But because if you're still managing the same company as how you started and how you wanted to grow, you're not going to get there for sure. So it's a lot of systems.
And what would that one activity be that you would suggest every business owner to do for the next 30 days, maybe? Like, what is that one thing that everybody should be at it uh, as a business owner?
I
Like,
think the one thing that
something.
you have to have, and it doesn't matter where you at what stage in your business, is just, are you solving a problem? If you're solving a problem for someone else, you're making money. If you're not solving something, nobody actually cares. And that reflects to everything. If you're a hairdresser, if you're into fashion, if you're like, what are you solving? And that's it. I think that's kind of like it, that you have to always think about, what am I solving and how can I fix something? That's when people pay you. The bigger the problem, the more money you print.
All right. So the bigger the risk and bigger the
For
problem.
sure. For
So,
sure.
do you really think there's a pattern in how you should lead your business, or it keeps developing over time?
I mean, there's always going to be seasons for how you lead a business. It also depends where you're at with your business. But I think that the most important thing about how to lead is always with a visionary mindset. I mean, because your business is always going to evolve, but at the end of the day, you just have to make sure um, that you know what you want and that your team knows what you want, and that leadership, if everyone is on tune with what you want, your business will always keep evolving, keep growing, and you're going to keep leading the same way, but just make sure that everybody knows what you want.
How do you manage your time when you're at work?
I mean, it's kind of like the same for the 30%. I just give my 30% to certain days to some businesses, or more depending on where we're at. If we have a launch, if we have a summit, if we have a meeting, if we have certain things, it's just a matter of prioritizing where I'm needed. But when you have a team behind you, it's easier because you can delegate more. I feel like when you're starting, is just prioritize each day's tasks in order for you to know where you want to go and where the company should go, you know?
Just
Um, but it's
just
been so fantastic. It's been really a beautiful hour with you.
thank
For
you.
your listeners, I just wanted to tell like mindset is everything. Just keep going, no matter where you're at in your entrepreneurial stage. You'll always know that if you have the right mindset, if you have the right tools in your possession right now, you can achieve great things. I'm very excited to visit India one day. It's been
Course, you
fantastic
should
to
you
talk to
should
you.
venture into India. Maybe do your summits here.
Fantastic. We'll do so. We'll start seeing the opportunity of doing there, and maybe we can meet there when I visit. But I
Of course.
really thank you for your time, for
Thank
everything
you.
that you've done. It's
Thank you.
been fantastic. You are a great interviewer, great questions that I haven't been asked. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your time. The pleasure is mine, and I was really looking forward to this. Thank you for your 1 hour and for all the wisdom that you had to share today. Thank you. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you
here.
so much. Thank you. I'll see you the next time.